Hello and welcome to Modiphius and our Dreams and Machines actual play mini-series. Welcome to Avera Prime. Thank you all joining us once again for another episode. This is our second adventure episode. Third session because we did character creation first. So if you haven't checked those out, jump over to our YouTube and go watch them there. Some fun stuff to be had at the beginning. So yes, thank you very much for joining us. I have a wonderful group with me, as always, here today. I'm not going to introduce them now because we can do that later, because we want to get into the story of things. But for those who have joined us, who may not have watched the last episode, to give you a little bit of a recap before we jump into things, our group here have all come from different factions within the communities around New Mossgrove on Avera Prime. They've all been tasked to meet at New Mossgrove in one of the elders' houses to discuss a task that they are to undertake and carry out for the greater community at large. They all travelled down and met outside this house, where they conversed and reacquainted themselves with one another and introduced themselves to those that they did not know, before being called in by Wycliffe, the head of the militia here at New Mossgrove. Going into his house, they entered the dining room where they all sat down and then were met by Vittoria Silva, one of the town elders here in New Mossgrove, a very older woman who sat down next to Jewel, held her hand while she explained the situation at large. And Wycliffe brought in a metal tray with an object on. This object had fell from the sky previously, and no one knows what it is, basically. It's a strange, weird orange metal box with 4 letters on it that have not yet been deciphered. But hopefully one day they will be. And the situation is, Wycliffe sent out some of his guardians to see what happened when this strange thing fell out of the sky, following some flashing lights. The group that went there saw a crater, found this metal object, and were almost immediately attacked by a strange, shadowy group bathed in purple light, who attacked them with a multitude of different sorts of weapons, shooting laser guns and such at them. They managed to retreat, bring the box back to New Mossgrove, and a meeting was held by the elders. They couldn't decipher it, and one of the leading archivists here in New Mossgrove, Renke, made the suggestion that this item be taken to the Deepwood Archives, to the very south of this region, where the archivists there, who have a lot more knowledge, they have a larger archive of old world history there, might be able to decipher what this box is and what it contains, whether it's something good or something bad. But either way, it's something they feel will affect the people of New Mossgrove and the surrounding communities. So they decided to get someone from every sort of background to take it together, so it's not just the people of New Mossgrove in charge of this, it's everyone. It's a larger community involvement. So this was explained to the group. They were tasked with taking this item to Deepwood Archives. They were given a little bit of coin to assist in their supplies and their travels, and they immediately left and began spending, or attempting to spend and barter for equipment and supplies. I tried to steal something unsuccessfully, but you know, hey, these things happen. But that is what the group did. They got their supplies together, they did their shopping trip straight away rather than like 4 episodes in, which is very good. Get it done, out of the way, ready. And they have kind of set up their plan to head south. But luckily, Jewel, having utilized some of her archetype skills and her background and everything, was able to find out some information that the road south isn't exactly the safest place right now. Used to be, can be, right now isn't, but Jewel didn't decipher why it wasn't safe. So that's something that they may have to deal with on their way south. And as the group are about to set off on their journey, that's where we left things. So, with that being said, we're going to roll into our intro and then jump straight into it. So, we'll see you all in a second. So, as we pick back up in the story, you are all now leaving New Musgrove on your trip down to Deepwood Archive, knowing that there is a road that leads all the way south, but that there is some danger on that road, and you're going to have to detour at some point. You've not really discerned how far down the road the danger is. Is it at the beginning? Is it at the end? Who knows? But you know you're going to have to detour off the road and cut through the greater wilderness of Avira Prime and the continent of Nidrasita that you're on now. So, I'm going to turn straight to you guys and say, where are you going? What are you doing? What is your plans as you now embark on this journey?
Yeah, I think had we talked about like our plan being like going through the woods and the hilly bits to the left of the main road?
I think so.
On our map. Yeah. I
believe, yeah, we were told, or your rumors said that the road is no longer as safe, but some people know some detours through the hill portion.
Yeah, I think through those hills. So I think we're just gonna chance it by going that way. Yeah.
We kind of like break off when we see that Titanus dreamer there, or walker there.
Right, yeah. Yes, yeah, that's the point where we veer off, like, yeah, right as we leave kind of the settlement areas, yeah. And I just sort of say that Jewel is 100% like, I know the way, don't even worry about it.
Knows the way, not on a river. I like it.
Yeah. Really, there's no river over there.
What is this hard ground that I walk on? Interesting.
Yeah, actually, Danny, so does New Mossgrove sort of extend to where those sort of like the outskirts of where we see like little tents and farming?
So New Mossgrove is mainly the central larger structure around the river, but what you see around it is more Avirian farmland, small little farms and little, not quite small communities, but almost like a couple houses together that share farmland and work in those areas.
So arguably it's pretty safe for us to get to those outskirts to where the farmland is and then go into the hills, and who knows what happens.
Hopefully.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, should be.
Well, let's set out, yeah? We set out upon that path.
Okay. So you begin traveling on foot, heading this way, and again, you know the overall journey is about 40-ish kilometers of travel, but you know you can do it over a couple of days, depending on what speed you walk at or you travel at, and again, depending on your detour, it could take a little bit longer, could take a little bit less, but you've got enough supplies for 5 days. That's the one lucky thing you have. Thanks to some good bartering and a trade of repair work. But yeah, you head off and you start making your way down the road and the path and the kind of southerly direction. And to start with, it's a relatively normal, inconsequential, just a boring old walk, as it were. You see a few traders and a few Riviran gatherers kind of moving up and down the road as well, going from their small farms into New Mossgrove to drop off goods and see people, because it's like early afternoon, I would say, now, from after you've had your conversation with Vittoria and done your trading and that, because you met just after 12, so say it's early afternoon, so you've got a few hours ahead of you before the light starts to fade anyway. But those that have been to New Mossgrove and around New Mossgrove, you know that it does have a little bit of I don't want to say a vibrant nightlife, but the Way House Inn, which is one of the main kind of inns and pubs and communal areas there, does get quite lively of an evening. So you do see people heading into New Mossgrove from these kind of surrounding farm areas as you're heading out. And again, they look happy, they look fine, so the road, as far as it stands, appears to be clear. We continue on, and you probably got I want to say maybe an hour or so of walking before you kind of get past the main bulk of the farmlands and the larger, denser forest area that is kind of surrounding New Mossgrove on this bottom edge before you start hitting a bit of an incline, shall we say, as you get to the more hilly, mountainous region of the continent.
I think this is where we want to veer off the road, right? Like where you see that on the map, the little sort of remnants of a mech.
Yeah.
I think that's about where we want to veer into the hills.
Okay.
Trying to read Danny, man, is a difficult task.
Yes, that's where you decide to turn off. So, you walk along. You walk down, and you get to this point where you see the forest to either side of the pathway begin to dissipate and clear. And you go on for another 5-10 minutes, and then you see coming up in front of you next to the road what appears to be a large hulking mechanical blob, as we put it. Just this large big chunk of metal. There is some like vines on it growing over it. There's a couple of shrubs shooting off from one end. It appears to have some colourful awnings attached to a side of it. A big triangle sheet of like orange fabric dangling from one side. A little bit of graffiti has been kind of scrawled on some of the bare metal to one side of it. And as you kind of approach this chunk of metal, you see that it is an old world mech, one of these big dormant creatures from the past, from before your time. You know, you've seen these about in this state, others of different shapes and sizes, and they just kind of blend into the landscape to you now, to the point where sometimes, you know, if it was a little bit smaller, you may miss it as you walk past it, even if it's like 5 feet away. You may just not realize instinctually, oh, that's a giant dormant robot. It's just part of the landscape. It's there. This one's slightly bigger than that, though, so it's kind of hard to miss, as this kind of hulking mass of metal stands maybe 15 feet tall, kind of 5 to 7 feet wide, in a round kind of oval shape, just stuck into the ground.
Could I attempt to replenish some supply points by kind of digging about the bottom of this mech?
You can if you wish. And I will say it that way because I will remind you, through your lives growing up on this continent, in this new world, post the apocalyptic events that happened 200 years ago, you know that mauling with these giant dormant things has never yielded good fortune, shall we say. In the sense that these things are dormant, and when you start mauling with them, there are two options you can kind of veer off from. But
Yeah, so
by all means,
Zeke is doing it anyway.
I think as
we ready to fight? Is that what we're doing?
As Bixby sees Jewel kind of get that look in her eye, he like grabs her forearm and is like, "Hey, hold on. These things ain't." And then all of a sudden, Zeke's just over there
sprinting.
Yeah, I'm like, but Zeke's doing it. But I was just following Zeke.
Oh, that's let's give him a wide berth. Zeke, are you sure, buddy?
It's good. Oh, good. Just thumbs up and just running over to like inspect the state of this machinery up close.
My synthrope and like lasso his feet.
Please do that.
If you want to try, by all means, I will say you can. I'm gonna say, because we're lassoing, I'm gonna say do me a quickness survival.
Yeah, Crassus, weren't you wanting to intervene as well?
I'm just saying that we're about to get ourselves in a fight if Zeke gets it all the way to that thing. This is not good. It's not a good idea.
Well, by all means, go tackle him. We'll be standing back here. Like, I think, just like back into the bushes that are like, a little further back.
I have 1 success.
1 success. Okay. Zeke, can you make me a quickness move? With a DC 1, because...
Nerd.
Yeah, sure. Okay. A quickness move, you say?
On the over-encumbered tech.
No successes of any kind.
Okay.
I almost rolled a 20 to put. I got a 19 on one of them.
Okay. It's not too bad. It could have been, yeah. I will say, Cap, you managed to kind of quickly tie a loop in it, and you swing, and you get your trajectory perfect as you throw this at Zeke, and manage to kind of catch his heel as he's flicking his feet up in joy, running towards this giant piece of technology. And yeah, you catch him, and Zeke, you fall flat on your face forward as something's tugged at your heel.
There's a turn over. Why? Let me. Let me
go over and basically kind of just like sit like on your chest a little bit and just be like, so don't do that.
I'm just going to get a few pieces off of it. Just a few.
Yeah, and like I get that. Like I really love your enthusiasm. I support that. I really do. Here's the thing. I don't want to be collecting bits and pieces of you.
No, it is fine. I can speak with the machine if it works, but it won't. All you have to do is make sure you don't activate any electronic components that nothing can charge, no outbursts of energy, and you just simply scrape off the excess pieces components. Nothing critical to get it
listen, you keep saying all these words and like I'm already bored. But here's the thing. I know this is like the weirdest thing coming from me, but we kind of gotta focus up here. Like, not really what we're here for.
Do you know how you were scraping the metal from my hair that fell on the floor? This is the same thing for me. These are metal pieces that could be so good.
I totally get that. I get it. I get where you're coming from. However, the chances of like, me taking those metal scrapings, you are not that, and you wouldn't like tear my arms off for that. I would hope you wouldn't, because like I think we're becoming friends. But yeah, I'm gonna have to like make a decision here and ask you not to do that. And like maybe like maybe on the way back, like once we do what we've been asked to do, we can do what you want to do. But I think we have to focus on what they asked us to do.
Zeke, if I don't get to go to it, you don't either. Those are the rules.
No one's stopping you.
I look to my left and I just like go sprinting towards the back.
Bixby just reaches his hand out again.
Fine. Okay. I will leave it alone. I will let it be. I will not collect parts from this beautiful piece of art abandoned. So alone.
Awesome.
We'll find more.
Will you let me scavenge from that one then?
Look, Zeke, we've seen these things in action. Yeah, we're gonna probably have to fight one of these at some point. We can scavenge that one, right? We don't need to get ourselves in a fight. We're not ready.
You promise?
Wait, I'm sorry.
If I did, I get the pieces. Yes.
We're gonna have to fight one of these?
Probably. I mean, that's why the spirits do what we do. That's why I've got this electro spear, because some of these things, if they wake up, they are bad news. So that's why we gotta.
We don't have those.
We'll figure it out. Look. We don't need. The point is we don't need to fight this thing right now. Okay.
Fine. I just need to do one thing at least. I want to like look over at it. Can I see? I don't know, any way of like. Do I see like a way that it can see things, like which direction it's facing, to be like its ocular direction?
I'm also still like sitting on your chest, so I'm
So I'm like,
I will say, look from the position you're in, looking, you do not see what would be considered like eye holes or optical things anywhere. But again, this thing is kind of like in almost a capsule shape. Crassus, you would know, looking at this, like having stood there for a couple of minutes whilst all this has gone on, you recognize that you've seen one similar to this before that has woken up, and it's like when it's woke up, it's like 35 feet tall, 15 feet wide. It's like twice the size of what it is now. So these things open up and expand.
Okay, I will not scavenge, but then like takes a moment and then reaches and pulls out the stylus. Let me put a failsafe to keep others safe on the road, if you would not mind, at least. I only need a few minutes. I want to write a few glyphs that would stall it in case it wakes up near others.
No, that's a
I'm
good
gonna go
idea.
pee,
This one is
and then I'm gonna
be...
like do a backward somersault and untie your feet and just like walk into the bushes so I can go pee.
And so I'll take the moment. I'd like to take the time to write a. I think I'm gonna do it. If I can do both, I'd like to write at least discharge. If I have time to also write glitch next to it, to cause the machine to lose power and kind of be stunned upon waking if somebody accidentally wakes it.
Where are you writing these?
I'm gonna just do it on the floor, like kind of in front of it. That way, if it's not a perfect move, because it may not even look at it, but
okay,
just in case, like I do that and somebody sees and accidentally wakes it, if that's okay.
Yeah, you can do that.
Do I need to make a check, or is it like a?
I'll say like if whilst Cap goes and pees, you have time to write both.
Okay, and then I'm going to, after that, I want to go a little further and just like a glyph warning, like XX, machine, and then like an arrow pointing. So if people go this path, they know that it's that way and not to go that way. Because I want the parts later, and I want everyone to leave it alone.
Okay, cool. You write that warning, and you point the arrows to this 15-foot tall thing next to the road, for everyone to know if they go next to the road, it's there. And yeah, you stand there. Cap, you return from relieving oneself, and yeah, you guys are ready to continue on from here. Which direction are you going?
Azika's arm crossed, pouting.
Yeah, I think I heard them say this would be the best way, and I just sort of set off kind of aimlessly towards those hills. Like, there's like the two hills at the top. I just kind of aim towards between the two of them. So
left from the direction you're heading?
Yes.
No, right from the direction. If you're going down.
Well, oh yeah, if I'm heading,
right.
If we're heading
right.
in
West.
Yeah. Left on the map. That
left
we're
on the map,
at.
right the way you're going. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, direction's hard.
The word is
And
called west.
We could use like cardinal.
Yeah, yeah, we could do that. Based off what I'm looking at too, I don't think Jewel tries to like climb up on any hill. Like, I think I'm like, the plan would be to stay at the base, like in the woods.
More, yeah, because more the valleys between them.
Yeah. Because
these hills are big. The map is just a broad representation of the size and scale of these locations.
Yeah.
So these are pretty big hills. So yeah, you're going to kind of walk through the valleys, as it were.
Yeah.
No problem. So, and who's taking the lead? Jewel, are you taking the lead on this?
Yes, and I'm going to try to use my... I am actually, while she is bullshitting somewhat in the amount of knowledge she has, she is training as a navigator and like will want to use like whatever signs... And as it becomes night, will probably be easier of just like the stars and other things to sort of orient herself as she leads them.
Okay. So can you make me... I'm going to say for this, an insight move check. And it's going to be DC 3.
Zeke would like to assist. If we have a general map, Zeke's pretty like insightful and has a strong sense of like knowledge and information, just is not good with people. So I'd like to apply my like general understanding of like topography and stuff to aid, if possible.
Okay, and so I get 2 dice to start, or I just get one die to start?
You always start with 2. Always start with 2d20.
Always start with 2.
But you can pay spirit to gain an additional.
Yeah.
And then with Zeke aiding, Zeke gets to roll 1 die, doing the same check, and his success would be added to the number of your successes.
Okay.
And then go ahead.
I think.
And momentum can or can't add to this, or
spirit is for adding dice or re-rolling.
Momentum would improve the outcome of the or a success. Oh, just getting extra stuff from it. I see. Okay.
I got 1 success if I get to use my insight to add to it.
Okay, you got 1. I'm going to spend. And what was the difficulty you told us?
3.
Yeah, I'll spend at least 1 spirit to get an extra die. Oof. 2 spirits to get an extra 2 dice. Okay, here we go. Move insight.
Yes. Yeah.
Ooh, wow, what a range. Okay. So there are 2 successes, and one of them's a 1.
That classes as 2 itself.
One of the failing ones is 20.
Okay.
But I have a 1 and a 4, and then a 20 and a 19.
Okay.
So what does it mean?
So it means that in total you got 4 successes. You only needed 3, so that's generated a point of momentum.
Red 6
for the group. But you rolled a 20, which causes a complication.
Okay.
Which is something I will deal with in time.
Okay.
So that's
yeah.
the way I'm going to play.
Okay.
So.
Great.
Yes.
Wonderful. So I'll just say, yep. I like stick my finger in my mouth and like put it out to like get the direction of the wind. I'm like, yes, this way, and just start walking.
Okay, so you head off in the direction you wanted to head in, heading the right way, and you continue walking on for maybe another hour or so, and you're kind of cresting between these large hills and through these valleys, and it is woodland. There's quite a bit of tree and foliage and growth around there, and you continue on. And it gets a little bit thicker. The woodlands around and a little bit thicker, and then the kind of shrubbery gets a little bit higher and a little bit more dense. You're going the right way, but there probably was an easier path you could have took. You just didn't. But you're going in the right direction, so that's a positive. But you move on and you continue through, and as the day is going on and you're traveling through this, the sun is beginning to set. We are later in the year on this solar system, on this planet. So the sun is setting and it is beginning to slightly get a bit darker. And it seems a lot more darker because of the overgrowth of the forest and stuff as well. So your light is becoming slightly impeded at this point as you travel through.
I'll pull out the illuminator that I bought.
Very nice. So you now have a torch, and you're able to see your way. It is very one-directional of a light source, so it might be a case of you might need to huddle in a bit as you walk and not spread out too much.
Yes. Follow closely, my little ducklings.
Could I? My character, I'm deciding, is very rock based. Could I like just gonna assume that in my bag there's just a whole bunch of different fucking rocks. Pull out like a quartz crystal, like very like Gandalf in the Mines of Moria. Like pull out a crystal that like can be like I can affix to the illuminator that will give it more like a diffusion rather than a directional thing.
Okay. I will say. I mean, yeah. It sounds cool. So yeah. So
Awesome.
spend one supply point just to like use some little bits of material and some wires and some like metal cables and stuff just to affix it at the right angle to the illuminator.
As a grabber, it says +1 supply points, but it also says like my supply points I think are like automatically replenished by the world or something like that.
By natural.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have a natural replenishment, don't you? Just because of the nature of who you are.
Yeah, I'm just picking shit up.
Basically, yeah, you're constantly picking up bits and pieces you find.
But is it specifically to be used to create natural items versus Zeke can create tech items?
Yes.
Yeah, I can do tech items as a archivist. I believe is where it's not from my origin.
Yeah, presumably my assumption is that the source of your supply points like can either be used for natural or tech.
Yes. Yeah. So with a tech, they can naturally kind of replenish wires, cables, batteries, bits and pieces like that. With a dreamer, as it says in the player's guide on page 96, the character supply points are unchanged. A dreamer's supply points are replenished from the natural world, and they can only be used to create natural items. The character gains twice the normal number of supply points from foraging for natural supply points.
Right, but you still have to forage for the.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. But we're in the woods.
We're in the woods, so it's kind of ideal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I
Perfect.
tried to salvage from a machine before it was too late.
Listen, the tree and the rock are not going to wake up and kick my ass. So,
As far as you know.
wrong
You
world.
say that,
But that's
actually,
a great point that I would also like to replenish. If we're just walking through the woods along the way, replenish my supply points.
yeah, you can definitely
From
forage
here.
whilst you're looking around. I will say as well, you don't need to roll anything to do this whilst you're kind of not moving at pace. You have the time to kind of slightly meander and look around, especially before the light started to diminish. You were able to just kind of look around here and there and pick bits and pieces. But yeah, Cap, you tie the crystal to the top and it kind of diffuses the light as well as kind of giving it a bit more of a wider spread. Which makes things a little bit easier for the group rather than having to huddle together.
Wow, thank you.
You're welcome. And then like Cap will be like running kind of not too far off the path, but just like disappearing in zigzags just beyond the tree line, like looking for rocks and just like random natural stuff, but then like always coming back. I'm just like that kid who's just like, just don't go out. You
Yeah,
always be able that I can hear you.
Let's just stay close.
I got it.
Okay, so you continue on now as the light is really starting to drop.
Oh wait, also while we're doing this and as I've been navigating, I kind of like what would be the term? River splain to Bixby, like every single way that I'm able to navigate for us and how I'm able to do it. And like, yeah, you see, if you just pay attention to the world around you, you see the light, the way it's moving, then you know what direction you're in. I mean, you should really pick some of this up, Bixby. Might help you out.
Oh, well, I feel like more important than, the little bits about where you're going is the reason why you're going. Now, as for the story I was telling, at this point, our young lion is in the wilderness, and he meets two creatures that teach him about
my God.
the joys of veganism and letting go of your troubles.
I have regrets. And I have your accent now. Apparently.
It's contagious.
Yeah. Anyway, that's about the way of things, I think, between us as we're walking.
Yeah.
And while Zeke going through this, it's very noticeable that Zeke keeps their gloved left hand up at all times, and like is priming the repulsor energy, trusting nothing about nature. Like, like you'll hear a skittering nearby and just be like, "What's going on?" Okay. Is very on edge.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. That makes sense for Zeke. Okay. Let me just.
About how long do you feel like we should make camp? You know, because as much as you know your way around the wilderness, all of you, I don't want to trip and fall because we can't see that clearly.
Well, I mean, I could keep going, of course. But any of you starting to feel tired? I suppose we could camp up at some point.
No, let's keep going. We do not
Cactus
stop.
Naruto runs across the path.
Really, no one's starting to feel any fatigue here.
I mean, I am incredibly tired, but I do not want to be in the forest. I do not want to be out here. There is no metal, there is no electricity, there is none of it. It is no.
Yes, I do think we're going to be here for a little bit, for maybe a good chunk of time, actually. And Danny, about how long? You know, we determined it's about 3 days all the way. Is it like a full day? I feel like in that chunk.
I would say so. Yeah, like it's going to take you a full day to get through that, and you're a couple hours in.
And can you tell us like how does exhaustion work in this game? You know, and like how this would affect us if we did like just keep going through the night.
So I would say you can keep going through the night and you will eventually develop exhaustion. And the way that works mechanically in the game, exhaustion, is it shuts off one of your attributes, so you can't roll skill checks based on that attribute until you get rid of the exhaustion.
Wow. Do we choose the attribute it shuts off
your
or no?
temperament decides it for you.
Oh.
With your different types of exhaustion.
Mine's resolve.
Double checking mine.
Oh man, yeah. Now I want to know. Or is that what's under our exhaustion?
So you have a type of exhaustion, and that type of exhaustion determines which.
Okay. Yeah, mine is supposed to be wary, but I don't know what.
I'm going to the quick reference. Tells us. Here we go. Weary shuts down might, breathless shuts down quickness, confused shuts down insight, and despairing shuts down resolve.
Weary shuts out might?
Might, yeah. So your might will be shut down. See, I get confused with shut down my insight, which is needed to use all my tech.
That's huge. I'm like, who needs might when I've got a spear here? Yeah, well, you know, Zeke, we could keep going, but you're tired and we need your mind to work, you see. And we are going to be here for a while. It's not like just a few hours and we're out of the woods.
Okay. That sounds delightful. We can camp out here.
Don't worry, Zeke. We'll keep you safe.
I am not worried about safety. I am uncomfortable. I need my tools, my workshop, my metal, The ground is rough. The leaves, they move in ways that are not okay.
I understand. It's strange that the ground beneath us is not moving. It makes me uncomfortable as well. As soon as I can get out of here, the better. But I think this is for the best. And I'm sure Bixby has some good words of encouragement on discomfort somewhere.
As you turn around to Bixby, he's like, once he heard that camp was an option, he like put his bedroll down. He's like setting up a little lamp, and he started on a fire. He's like, yeah, I find that if you are scared of the night sounds, a good way to deal with them is to just think of them as a greeting. The rustling leaves are a little song being played for you. the flapping wings of some sort of creature might just be a kind of lullaby. This isn't helping at all, is it, Zeke?
No, I do not want to be eaten by flapping creatures.
I'm gonna make you some soup. That'll cure everything right up. It like gets that little pot, just
As you see, like Zeke like takes down and is like, all right, take some random bits of like fabric and metal and sets it down and like sits on it, like, okay. Yay. Camping.
Zeke, I tend to find that if you fear for your life, your best bet is just to go running. Probably go after whoever's staying behind to fight it.
I don't
Like,
run.
Joe
over.
isn't afraid of anything, just
It's
always
like-
running.
I just like look over at Crassus when I say that. And I'm like, we're probably fine, actually.
Okay, my glyphs don't work on creatures and beasts. I know how to deal with machines. If it works, I could just write the glyph. I can power a device. I can shut it down. You can't shut down animals.
well, you can. It's just we tend to call it killing them.
I can't fight.
That's what you got your friends for. Look at Crassus. Crassus, I'm sure you killed many machines. You ever hunt like a bird or a deer or something like that?
I mean, there's not a whole lot of animals around these days, but we've had some run-ins with bandits and that sort of thing. I mean, it's really not that
Bandits?
different. I mean, if anything, I feel like the machines are a little easier to predict. But
See, yes.
it's the same kind of thing at the end of the day.
Okay.
Are bandits tasty? Cap has reappeared with a mention of soup.
I mean, I've never tried eating any. Maybe.
Okay. I'm just going to let me know when the camping is done. And Zeke just puts on the headphones.
Jewel has. Okay, you can tell me how ridiculous this is, Danny, or feasible. And I will use my talent if I need to. But this is not something that's in the equipment that I know of.
Okay.
But say that I have some like little pop out little tent that just like ups and builds itself and is almost like a little glamping sort of situation, and has like little pillows and things inside it that I can just sort of unfold from my jacket and already be lounging in.
Let's have a think here. How many supply points do you have?
Well, now I have 6, and I can spend 3 supply points to reveal I'm carrying an item worth up to 2 coins per supply point spent. So I could feasibly reveal something worth up to 6 coin in this
Okay.
moment.
I will say, whilst Zeke and Crassus and Bixby, you've been having this conversation, Jewel has literally pulled out from their jacket what looked like a small fabric disc about this big, and flung it onto the floor. And it's, again, you've all seen like these little like one-person pop-up tents, but this one opens up to be about the size of like, it fits 4 people. It's all made of like nano filament and nano fiber, so it can be like compressed really small. But yeah, Jewel is lay inside what appears to be a 4-person tent, lay in the middle, a little pillow behind them. It has 2 windows on the side, and she's already affixed her illuminator to the top.
Yeah. What if we're stopping up? What?
Like Zeke's just like, why?
Well, when in an emergency and off the water, you need to have some comfortable fixings,
While people are like getting settled and doing their stuff, may I technically like go foraging in the surrounding woods just to gather like branches and stuff? Like I want to start kind of, even when Jewel is inside her tent, I want to like start putting without asking permission, because like this is my job. I'm gonna start like disguising things so they look a bit more camouflaged. and like bring the branches I know would be like the softer ones, like some really nice smelling, like even pine branches, just cut down and like start fixing beds. Like again, no permission, just start like setting people up for the night. And then also I would like to set up some traps or like alerts in the perimeter, just like set up stones to fall over or just like very basic things so I can hear if people are coming, and like some pits so that people will stumble and things like that, just make us safe for the night.
Do you have a shovel?
No, but I have a can-do attitude.
Okay. I'll say by all means, like pretty much everything you said you can do. You can start pulling branches from trees. There's like what would be the equivalent of some like ferns there, so you can start pulling those and making soft bedding from those. And you can easily cover Jules' tent with branches and leaves and so on to start disguising it. It will impede Jules' view from her windows. I'm just going to put that out there.
Yeah. The only reason that this is not getting any word from Jewel about is because Jewel has fallen asleep.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you get everyone set up and you begin placing your alerts and your traps, and you do the little like cairns of stone stacked up and stuff with a like almost a tripwire of a very thin branch you've found that if that's knocked at it pings them off. And again, you've put some more dry branches in certain like areas where you would expect footfall to be, so you get that large snap if they were to be stepped on. And you do find one kind of flat stone about that big, and anyone watching sees Cat like squatted down, scraping at the floor to try and dig a hole with a rock. Yeah, you begin creating a pit. It's going to take you a while using a rock.
It doesn't have to be big. I just want like little gopher holes that if someone were walking in the dark, they may like, oh fuck, and just like stumble into.
Okay. Yeah. That's easy enough to do. The ground in this area is soft enough as well that you can kind of dig a little hole easy enough. And yeah, you begin kind of in some strategic areas that you kind of get a sense of would make sense for an ambush or a predator to approach you. You set up in those.
And last thing, because you said I found ferns, can I bring back like the fiddleheads to like add to the soup?
Yeah. Cool. Bigsby, I'm presuming you're just now sat making soup.
Yeah. I think like got a little fire going, just like pot over it. If anyone approaches, he continues his retelling of the legend of the King of Lions.
It's a creature that does not exist here, but
yeah,
that's why it's a legend.
It's a legend. It's a legend.
I feel like you'd get through the whole story, and then Kat would be like, "Wow, what's a lion?"
As far as I can tell, I'm not sure, but they sound cute as all hell. Yeah, as you sort of add that stuff into the soup too, he's like, oh wow, okay, all right. He takes a little taste. I'm gonna have to get some. What do you call these, fiddleheads?
Yes, and they are seasoned with dirt.
Okay, I'm gonna leave that out whenever I tell people about what's in the soup. So
texture.
And then I think after that, Bixby just starts his soup delivery service, just like going over everybody's little thing and giving them a cup of soup.
Okay. You head over to the tent where Jewel is, and you see Jewel lay on their back, completely gone to
asleep.
The world. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you give them soup?
Yeah, I set the soup down next to Jewel, kind of like shoulder level, and I like kind of give her a little like shake.
I think I like, ah!
What? Careful, soup's hot, okay?
You put hot soup next to sleeping Bixby.
I figured you'd, wake up and smell the soup, and then all of a sudden, great start to your day.
It does smell incredible.
Hey, listen,
Yeah, what?
you know where we're going, right? Like, you kind of been leading this expedition, and I don't want to.
Are you doubting me? You always do this.
I'm not doubting. I just want to make sure that you believe in yourself.
If anyone believes in me, it's me.
Yeah, I do know that.
Do you not believe in me?
I'm just saying, there's been a couple moves I've been questioning, like.
When have I ever failed us in the past? Nope, don't answer that. Look, there's only one way forward, to new adventures and whatever you might say about that.
I just don't want a repeat of what happened last time we worked together with the archivists.
That was hardly my fault. Maybe don't tell the others about that. And I learned a lot. Actually.
Well, that's all we can ask for, right? I learned a lot.
Yes. All right. There's room in this tent, I suppose, if you.
Well, I guess I could roll the old sleeping bag over,
Whatever, if you want. Anyway, I'm going to have soup and I'm going to go to sleep, so please don't wake me unless I'm about to die.
Deal. And my apologies. You're doing great.
Thank you for the soup.
He sort of like huddles out of the tent.
Yeah. And drink soup in a corner of the tent. We're going back to sleep.
Now, I have a question for you, Danny.
Yes.
For my Spears Blend ability, would I already have some Spears Blend, or is that something I actively need to forage for now?
I will say you brought with you, knowing that you may be going on a trip, you brought like two doses, shall we say?
Okay, cool.
Of that. But again, beyond that, you'll have some of the ingredients with you already to craft more. But you may need a couple bits and pieces.
Maybe replenish at some point. Okay, cool.
But saying that, what is Crassus doing at this time?
At this point, he's just kind of observing the rest of the group. He's watching Bixby and the interaction with, with the soup and that sort of thing. But he's just kind of he's helped set up a campfire, right? Just kind of sitting there, warming his hands, and yeah, just sipping on the soup and preparing for the evening.
Okay, lovely. So yes, you all kind of bunker down now. You've had a hearty little soup, and Jewel is already in Slumberland, dreaming of waterways anew.
Yeah.
But what's the plan for the rest of you? Are we just hunkering down, going to sleep, and then cracking on with the journey in the morning, or is there anything you want to do in the evening or through the night?
Actually, I thought of something. I want to Crassus approaches Cap and says, "Look, I saw you setting those things up earlier. It seems really clever. If you need some extra supplies or something, I mean, I'm happy to help."
Oh, do you also enjoy rocks?
Rocks are cool.
Awesome. Do you have? Can I look in your bag?
Yeah, I mean, it's not that exciting. I don't have any rocks, but you check it out, and pulls his bag, shows it to them.
Cap will pretty much try and climb into your bag. Just like up to the waist, just digging around looking for shit.
Crassus is just letting it happen, watching them curiously, but let them explore.
You just hear muffled like, "Oh my god, this is so cool." Any actual technical stuff, Cap will probably leave alone. But if you've got any sort of elemental stuff or like loose metals, ores, anything like that. They would just be super touchy and like probably whip down some of their investigatory, right? That's a word.
Yeah.
Investigatory.
We'll
Blech.
certainly act like it is, even if it wasn't.
Yeah. Just like all the magnifying lenses will come down and just start looking at stuff. It's like, you spears are different from the people I normally interact with, but like, you know, you have some good ideas about certain things. But I am happy to be your guide to finding stuff out here. I don't know how often you, particularly like you as a specific type person, how often you get out here. But like, if you need any advice or guidance that I can offer, I would be happy to do so. I know that I seem like I'm a little all over the place, and like I am, but I can be like not a leader by any means, but I can certainly be helpful. Like it's a lot easier if you ask, though, because that puts me like on a path. Because if you just like ask very open-ended stuff, or like whatever, my brain is everywhere.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I like to gather plants and that sort of thing. I don't really know anything about, the rocks and stuff that you were talking about. But yeah, I mean, if we need to, get everybody something or whatever, I'd be happy to help you. Right? We could, gather around, do some foraging, that sort of thing.
I also enjoy plants. They're like rocks, but like softer and alive.
Yeah, okay.
I think I'm done on my foraging for tonight, but like, are we gonna like stay up at all and make sure people or things don't try and smoosh us? Like,
it might be a good idea to sleep in shifts, have at least somebody up for a little bit, just to keep an eye on things, in case somebody comes up to the camp, right? They might see the fire, you see the smoke, that sort of thing.
Is it warm enough that we don't need to have the fire going all night?
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay, hang on. I'm gonna like grab some dirt and just start like putting it on the fire to like smother it, but not like put water on it, which would cause more smoke, which I think I would know. So I'm just gonna like, okay, well, that's solved. And I think I have pretty adequately disguised everything. It feels good, feels safe, feels right. So I'm rethinking my position of like, maybe we don't need to stay up the whole night, but like maybe we sleep towards the edge of our area so that like we'll be the first to hear stuff.
Yeah, I like that plan. Let's do that.
Cool, because if stuff happens, I can't guarantee. I'm not very big and I'm not very strong. I like to think that I'm very smart. So if things happen, you're gonna be the one fighting them. To be honest, like I just want to put that out there so we can set proper expectations, make a plan.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Just wake me up.
Okay, cool. If I start getting murdered, I will let out a blood-curdling scream. That way you'll know it's me, okay?
Wake me right up. All right.
Awesome. And then Cap will just like walk over to the edge of the camp and just kind of like, and just go completely horizontal and just instantly asleep.
Okay.
Like a couple seconds after she walks out of frame, or they walk out of frame, Bixby walks by with like his sleeping bag and like a cup of soup. And he's like, I'm gonna go make sure that Jewel doesn't need a refill on soup, and he cautiously walks over to the tent.
Okay.
Jewel is asleep.
Jewel's really asleep this time.
He just goes in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Zeke still has yet to actually go to sleep.
Yes.
As the night starts to go, Zeke has pulled the box out, has like set it in front of him, and is trying to talk with it and understand it.
Mm-hmm.
Not like loudly, is like almost in a whispered conversation with it, being like, I need to know your secrets. It is very important that you reveal to me what you are, what you do, why. need this. I need for this to work. I just let me know what it is that you want, and then I can make everybody proud. I can do good. I just need to know. And we'll like start like almost gripping it, trying to like is like frantically trying to understand this machine to the point that it's like nothing makes sense. So it's almost a panic state trying to figure out its secrets.
Okay.
I don't know if that does anything, but we'll spend a majority of the night rather than sleeping, even with the like not exhaustion, but like that fatigue kicking in is like, I just need to know. And is like taking tools and scraping, not trying to break it open, but like cautiously and getting more and more aggressive with it until the fatigue fully kicks in.
Okay. Cool. So as you spend this time with this box, and you spend a couple hours to it, and you begin to attune to it, you hear nothing, because that doesn't happen in this game. You sit there with this box, kind of pouring all your emotion into it in the hope that by giving everything you have, you'll gain something back from this box, and solve its mysteries. But no, you sit there, you scrape it with tools, and you see a bit of the orange kind of flake off as you do, and it's just the bare metal underneath. And then you kind of just pass out to your weariness after a while and fall into a slumber filled with images of this box and it opening and cogs turning and springs whizzing by and lights glowing and all this miraculous, amazing tech coming out of it. It's only a dream.
And Zeke's typical nightmare of hearing code speak to him that he has no idea what it means.
Yes, you start hearing ones and zeros.
It is actually a reoccurring nightmare that he has every time. No idea why.
Amazing. So, you all drift off to sleep. Some earlier than others, and some later than others. But you were all asleep through the night. I just need to roll for a second. Okay.
Or you don't need to. We could just
something that I know you don't want me to, but you know.
we could just wake up.
I got some threat to spend, so I just need to double check something. Okay, cool. So that happens. That's it out loud. Oh, never mind. So you all go to sleep, and there are 5 of you.
So we need 5 body bags.
Crassus, you are the first to wake up in the morning.
Okay.
You come round and it's early. You can sense that you've woken early in the morning. You can kind of feel the slight moisture on the ground from the dew from the night before, and the light is kind of breaking through the trees, almost like tiny yellow laser beams everywhere as it moves between the leaves, and you can sense that it is dawn. The sun has begun to rise. It is early morning. There is a slight chill, but it's nothing too bad. You kind of get the sense that it's going to be a warm day because of the temperature hitting now with this dew and the chill. To the point where, as you kind of look around the area that you guys have camped in, you can see an almost faint mist as the dew is already kind of evaporating into the air this early. We are the first to wake. Nothing disturbed you through the night. Seems okay. Seems fine.
Themes.
Is camping and this also 2 scenes? I'm trying to figure out how much momentum we'll have, or is this all still one scene?
I'll say we're now in the next scene. As you've gone to sleep, we've ended that scene, so you will lose 1 momentum back down to 5.
Okay.
And we are now. It's a fresh day. It's a fresh morning. A fresh scene. We'll say. But it's morning, Crassus. You're the first up. Everyone else is still completely panned out. You kind of look around, and Jewel and Bixby are in the tent. Cappy is still kind of almost face down on the floor at the other side of the camp, and Zeke is kind of slumped over, holding this orange box, kind of cradling it almost like a baby.
Oh
With visible tears.
no!
That's from the radiation poisoning.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think I wake up. I see Zeke like curled up in this very pathetic way, and I will like nudge Bixby. I'm like, can't believe no one else sees the tent. It's a perfectly good tent. Bixby.
He sits there. Beans. Yeah. What's up?
Look at that. And she's pointing at Zeke.
He kind of like leans up. We gotta have a talk with that kid.
Yeah. We is strong, but I think you should.
Okay. All right.
You're better at the encouragement. If the encouragement doesn't work, yeah, I'll have a go.
Well, all of a sudden, when he's experiencing issues with the box, he's my teammate, huh? When he's reprogramming stuff, he's your. I'm just joking.
Wow. That's very biting of you first thing in the morning. I don't know how you have this energy. Anyway, I was just pointing it out. That's it. Anyway, get out. I sort of like push Bixby out and like recollapse the tent and like some button. I don't know.
You just kind of like you grab the two sides, push them together, and then you twist, and it just goes back together. Okay.
Preston is not paying any attention to this or anything. He's kind of doing a little patrol around the outskirts of the camp, just making sure everything is clear.
No problem. You go around Crassus and like everything's clear, and you get to like the other side, and Cap is still kind of asleep, face down, just completely zonked out to the world still.
The important question is Cap one of those that snores like a beast, or is dead silent, and we always have to consider if Cap is dead or not?
That's a question for
You just
Cap.
see like little puffs of dirt just like puffing out from my face. So there's like no, not real snoring, but just like the breathing out is so obstructed. I just
Oh my god. So bad.
that's why my face is always so dirty. I just sleep.
Shocking. Amazing. Okay. Is anyone going to wake Cap up, or are we just leaving Cap there?
You would leave without Petrie?
No. Yeah, we would wake Cap up. Just giving people time to awaken, and also Zeke is still asleep, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Zeke is out cold.
Yeah, I'll go. I'll wake up Cap, as I assume Bixby's going to Zeke, but
No problem.
Just give me a shake.
oh sure, yeah. I think I get very close to your face first, and I'm like looking at all of the dirt that's on you, like so dry, so dirty. Has she never encountered water? Have they never encountered water? I wonder. Then I take out a cloth, and I just cover my hand with it as I sort of poke them. Hello. Good morning.
Danny will get this reference, but to go a little death in space on you, that moment, Cap just like whips over, and like you see they've got like their dagger in their hand, and they're just like very close to like and it's kind of the most feral and like serious you've ever, because like they'll concentrate when they're like investigating stuff, but this is the most like dangerous and serious you've ever seen them. But then they're just like,
whoa. Cap, what the hell?
good morning, and just like put it away and just instantly awake, pop right up, start walking away to just join everybody, and also to start leave everything as you found it. So like kind of like putting a lot of stuff back and getting rid of like the traces that we've been there.
Still a mystery.
Bixby's gonna just sort of like gently rub Zeke's shoulder a little bit, shake him. I've got a cup of day-old soup, or I guess half-day-old soup in hand.
Zeke doesn't immediately wake. There's like that stir of like, X is equal to negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac over 2a.
Hey, bud. So let's cut it with the gibberish. I got you some.
Kind of shoots up. I figured out the equation. I know. No. You can solve it with the centrifugal force of a gravitational pull.
Wait, with a brain that big, you're gonna need to eat. And I kind of like put the soup in his hand and try to take the tablet or the orange box. Just
and
gently.
as you do, like there is, I can only describe it as like a feral response to you trying to pull the box, as like pulls it in tighter. No, I will solve it and then I can eat. I know the routine. Solve it, figure it out, then I can eat. Solve it, figure it out, then I can eat.
Wait, hold on. Here. You can hold on to it, but just try and eat some soup. You know, precious items like this, they can consume us sometimes if we let them.
I appreciate. I haven't been able to solve it yet. I tried to figure it out. It doesn't make sense.
Well, sometimes you got to walk away from stuff and come back to it. I used to have this cube from the old world. It's like a toy. That's what they said. Got all these different colors on it, and you got to twist it, try to make a design or something. I mean, I didn't even rightly know exactly what I was supposed to do with it, but I managed to get one side all green. It took me probably around about 6 months. But the more I found that I drilled my head at it, the harder it got.
And as you describe it, Zeke is like stops looking at you and kind of drifts off, and it's like goes through like their pack of like random puzzle cubes and type things they have, and they pull out like this, like not a regular cube. It's like one of those like 12-sided versions with different color combinations. It's messed up right now. Do you mean like one of these?
Oh gods, no! It was just a 6-sided cube.
And as you keep going, it's like doing one-handed solving while listening to you, like,
Yeah. Well, okay. Wow, that's pretty impressive. The point of the story is something like that's super easy for
solves,
you, right?
puts back in the bag.
And for me, that one side of that cube was like this box for you. It took a lot of time, and I swear one time my neighbor Tim, he tried to get me to go out with him, and I called him some names that I can't take back for sure, and I don't feel great about it. But then I did, and I came back, and that night I fixed it.
Okay. I just need time.
Just needs time, buddy.
I have a simple strange request for you, please, if you would be so kind. Don't tell anyone that I could not solve it.
Hey, as far as we're all concerned, you had it figured out 2 days ago.
And there's a smile, and it's different than like the typical, like what we call the Tenet smile, the almost like, yeah, it's an authentic like smile you can kind of see right now. I did solve it. I did. I did. Thank you.
You got this, buddy. It's kind of like hand him the soup and kind of like saunter off and like start cleaning up or help him clean up a little bit.
Because there's tools everywhere, and it's just like, yeah, I gotta.
So sweet.
Listen, he's a good kid. He's got this thing licked. Says as he like approaches.
Are we ready to go? Please?
Yeah. We'll get out of the woods. Probably by the end of today. You won't have to look at all this anymore.
Before we go, I would like to, if you give me the chance to put the glyph on all of you, just in case.
Ooh, like one of those cool tattoos.
These more will be on your clothes in
Oh,
case we do encounter a machine. It's good to have these to give time.
yeah,
You know
all
that-
right.
And kind of look at like Gracias and then over to Bix, and it's like, I know you have written for camouflage, but these ones will be for distraction. So if you are seen, then it will give you more time.
Ooh, I love a good distraction. Yes, bling me up.
And so like using our time to like, as we're shutting down camp and all that, I'd like to write specifically glitch on anyone who allows Zeke. Basically, if the machine sees it and fails, it'll be stunned for a turn. It can't be stunned by glitch more than once in a scene, but like if it sees any one of us, it'll work, kind of thing.
Yeah, not a problem.
I'm already wearing a covert cloak, but I will let you like put it on my body in case like I lose it.
When you like give that option, Zeke's like, I usually only do clothing, but for others, I and is like taking the glyph and is like hand shaking, like I only usually brand myself. Yes, and then Will, after like holding wrist, is like, yes, I can. Writes the glitch glyph.
You do not like my upper back.
Yeah, so kind of like puts that over. And I like to believe that when Zeke uses it, it sounds a lot like barbershop clippers. When it's like on full power mode, it's like zzz. So it sounds like a
Yeah.
tattoo. It's
Yeah.
giving that feeling, and then once it's done, turns off and slides it back.
All right.
Okay.
Are we ready? Everyone's eaten. Everyone's all right.
Everyone's peed.
Yeah, everyone's used the restroom. Everyone's eaten. Okay, we're not stopping. We would rather not stop if we don't need to. And I see, soldier man, I see you doing such a great job with the perimeter here. Would love that you're keeping an eye out, doing a great job. And if you could do that as we walk as well, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, okay.
Or is that something that just never turns off for you? Curious.
Well, you always want to be prepared. You don't want anybody sneaking up on you, especially, you know, we've got a really important mission. We got to make sure we're paying, close attention. We can't get ambushed.
Right. Yes, good point. Oh, yes. Is that device, is it tucked away now?
And then Zeke has one of the two arms kind of solidify and hold its place. It has one of the arms keep it tucked, so it is secure.
Good. All right, we're off. And I'll just confidently pick a direction and go.
Okay. Wonderful. So you break down camp. Zeke gives everyone a glyph on their clothing or their body to add an extra level of protection just in case. And you set off again, heading south, with Jewel roughly navigating the direction here on dry land for you. And you set off and you continue on making your way through this kind of, it's still slightly dense in this area, the woods, in this kind of valley between these hills, but you set off and you make good time nice and early in the morning. And as you go, you travel for a couple hours, like three-ish hours through the morning, at a nice steady pace, not something too, you're not overexerting yourself as you go. And you move on, and Jewel being at the front, you notice that the density of the forest is slowly kind of easing now, and things are getting a little bit more spread out, a little bit more clear, and you continue on, and you notice that the trees break, and there is an opening, and you move in out of the trees, kind of glad to be able to see the sky a little bit better than you have done, and you find yourself in a large grassed opening, but it's tall grass, almost kind of up to your chest, the grass, but it's a big open. There is no trees in this area. It kind of opens and breaks, and then you see, continuing on, there are more trees kind of a couple 100 yards further on beyond, but you've got a nice big clearing area where you can kind of step out and breathe in a bit of open air rather than that kind of dense forest air. And it kind of feels nice.
Look at that, Zeke.
No.
No?
Also, no.
What? Wait, what? What is it now?
Grass. It is too tall. There could be creatures, people.
Yes, I do hope there are no slithery things.
Slithering? I was speaking on like bipedal creatures. You mean there might be?
Oh, I don't know. I don't spend
Just
time
giving
on
him
that.
brand new nightmares.
Yeah. Who could say? You know, slithering. I probably not, but I mean, it should probably be easy. You would probably see the grass sway though if something was coming towards you. You know.
So I see grass move before I die. Okay, good.
Yeah, you know, and I feel like as I'm saying this, I feel like that's a good indicator. And like right before like a gust of wind, like just like moves all of the grass.
Quite literally, as you say that, you feel this breeze slightly build, and all this tall grass just goes.
I'm gonna use my repulsor glove and fire at the grass.
Okay.
God.
Zeke is too scared of everything nature right now, and I can't help it.
Okay, so make me I want an attack roll for this.
Whatever it is, I won't do well because I can't fight. If that's what it is, I'll let you know that now.
Make me. Let's do an insight operate for this weapon.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's a 12 and a 5 for 3 successes.
3 successes. Okay. So, as the grass sways, not violently, but with a bit of vigor from the breeze.
My perspective is violently.
After Jewel describes the menagerie of creatures that could be lurking within, you all watch as Zeke fires his repulsor glove into the grass, and it cleaves like an almost burnt line straight through the middle. Not wide, only like maybe a foot wide, at like chest height across the top of the grass. Quite some distance through, especially with the 3 successes. You only needed 1, so you generated 2 points of momentum from doing that, just so you know.
Nice.
But as you do this, 2 things happen. Well, 3 things happen, actually.
Uh-oh.
Firstly, as you all kind of trace with your eyes the line that Zeke has made, you see what appears to be the top of a structure just at the height of the grass at the end of where Zeke has hit, some couple 100 yards down. Secondly, after it happens, you all kind of go silent as a a what the fuck moment of, did he just do that at grass? Yeah. And you hear what sounds like a branch snap. And you all kind of do that whole inhale, and then you hear something else. You hear it come from the far right hand side of where you are, and then you hear it again from the left as you hear the sound
Get down, get down, get down.
begin to build.
And I'm just
And
gonna
then-
dive into the grass.
As you dive down, you start hearing these multiple growls coming from around in the grass. And that's where we're going to go to break. So, for everyone tuning in, thanks for sticking with us. Thanks for staying around. We're going to jump to a quick break. And then we'll be right back with this thing that Zeke has just caused. So, stick around.
Way to go, Zeke.
Yeah.
Whoops.
And we'll be back in just a moment. And we are back. Thank you all for waiting around for us. So, to give a very brief recap of what just occurred before the break, our group have set off on their way. They camped the night and had a pleasant sleep, some longer than others, and they have awoken and continued their journey through this forest, hilly area of the continent on their way south to the Deepwood Archives. They've entered an area that is a bit more of a clearing in terms of the trees and the forestry around them, but it is an area filled with tall grass up to the chest. Zeke got a little bit worried about the area, and Jewel attempted to reassure him to negative effect. In doing so, scared him more, to which Zeke discharged his pulsar glove in an almost Iron Man way, zipping a line across, like straight through this tall grass, skimming off like a 1 foot wide by 1 foot high portion. In doing so, he revealed a possible structure further out in this tall grass, and you all paused for a moment in disbelief as what Zeke just did, heard the cracking of branches, and just to reiterate the sound, multiple growls. Coming from
Yes.
around you in this area, some from either side of the tall grass, and some kind of along the same edge as you are, along the edge of this forest area. You hear these growls. You do not see anything, as unfortunately the tall grass has hindered your view of what these possible creatures could be. But you hear them, and they don't sound friendly. So, what are you doing?
I'll activate my covert cloak to start with.
Yeah, I think I, and like jump into the grass as I'm like fumbling to get my thermal staff out.
Okay. The rest of you.
Crassus has his hand on his spear, but he's looking, trying to observe, figure out what's going on with these creatures.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Bixby's gonna sort of crouch down and like next to the grass and just try to like get eyes on what's going on as well.
Zeke drops to the fetal position.
Okay. Cool.
Actually, I'm hearing the growls. Actually, while it's fetal position, information is important. Zeke is going to turn on their audio device to record mode to capture the sounds.
Okay. If you survive, you hear a lot of heavy breathing from yourself.
Just gotta calm myself down and capture the sound of the snarls in battle. This will be so good for the databases.
Yes. Okay. So, yes.
Sorry, do I recognize these sounds at all from like my time in the wilds?
Roll me an insight. An insight survive for this. It'll be a difficulty 1 for you.
What do we need to do to assist? If we wanted to assist,
If you want to assist, you roll 1 dice, but you're making the same check, so you'd roll an insight survive as well, and your success would be added to the number of successes.
Okay, I'd love to assist, just being someone, who goes along the water as well. Yeah, I will try. I got a success.
Okay.
I have 1 success.
Okay, so you generated 1 point of momentum. What is the group currently at?
We are at 6, so we're full currently.
Okay, cool. You do recognize the growls, Cap. And to somewhat of a lesser degree, Jewel, you've got, after taking a moment from the shock of hearing them, it is something you've heard as you've travelled along the riverbanks in the forest. You've heard these creatures. Cap, you know these to be called snarlbacks. And they are, from those that have seen them and spoke about them, these are a kind of compact breed of mutated wolf.
Oh.
Aw.
They tend to roam in large packs and bring down prey through ferocity and strength of numbers. Though they are small, smaller than a wolf, they do possess a far larger mouth, and they are able to distend their jaw to swallow larger amounts of food.
Still cute.
Hey,
Still cute.
so we can use momentum to create a truth about the scene.
Yes.
I just want to put that out there since we have 6. I'm seeing that we can spend 2 to establish a new truth or change or remove a truth about this scenario.
You can only do that during your action. So during what you're doing, but you can do that. Yes.
Okay.
As a reminder, it's a good thing to know.
Oh, although it does say okay. I'll read the whole thing. It has to relate to the test you've just succeeded at. Should be something that could reasonably be achieved by the character. Okay. Okay.
Okay. So we don't only Cap knows like what these things are per se. We haven't seen them yet.
You none of you have seen anything at this point.
Gotcha.
I will say Crassus and Bigsby, if you guys would like to make me an insight study.
Insight study. Okay.
Yeah, that's because you're both kind of said you're trying to get eyes on what these are. Bigsby from a lower position, Crassus from a standing position.
And sorry, remind me for the dice rolls. How is that calculated again with like my attributes and skills?
So what you do is you're going to roll 2 d20s. The difficulty for this is going to be a difficulty 2 because of the tall grass. And what you want to do is you want to roll underneath your insight to succeed, equal to or under your insight. But if you roll underneath your study, that classes as 2 successes.
Okay.
I've rolled underneath my insight and my study because I got a 1 with one of mine.
So that's 3 successes for you.
3 success.
So you have generated a 3rd success above what you needed, which creates points of momentum, but your group pool is full. So your option is to spend it now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or let it evaporate.
Spend it.
Logan, you want to do your roll? So before we,
Yeah,
Right.
I had 1 fail and then 1 that was under both my insight and study.
Okay, so you got 2 successes from that. That was, yeah. So 1 didn't make it. 1 got underneath your study. So that's a critical success. That gets 2. So you succeeded as well. So you both succeeded, but Bigsby generated a point of momentum from that by going above this thing. So Bigsby, do you want to spend that momentum on anything, or do you want me to just tell you what you guys see?
I mean, I kind of want to spend a momentum to create a truth, but I'm a little bit like nervous about what that does.
No,
but it
you
seems
do
cool.
it,
I gotta do
Go
it.
for it.
Yeah.
So a truth can be, to give you a bit of an explanation on that, a truth can literally be just a narrative thing that is just something you state. It could be a word or a short phrase to kind of give a bit more context to a scene, or to change something, or to set something within the scene you want, or it can be something that has a mechanical effect on that as well. Yeah, it's up to you what you want that to be, and we can workshop it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I would like one of the truths to be that I secured a large amount of jerky from our from our bartering, and I would like to have a large amount of dried meats as a sort of bargaining chip.
Okay. So what we'll do is we'll create the truth jerky,
There we go.
and basically you now have an amount of jerky that you can attempt to use as a distraction to throw them off your trail.
Very cool.
So in doing that, what you also see, the pair of you, is Crassus, you see this first because you've got the higher advantage. You see that from the sides of this large clearing, the tall grass, you can see the grass moving now. As something is moving through it, you can see it kind of parting at the top as it moves. But you see 4 areas where the grass is moving kind of more towards the central point towards you. Bigsby, from your kind of lower position, you look side to side and you see from your left the flash of 2 small animal quadrupedal, that's 4-legged creatures darting from the side of the forest kind of into the tall grass but along the edge of where you are. But then you kind of turn back to the rest of the group to kind of let them know, and you see another 2 from beyond there. So between the pair of you see there's about 8.
Oh.
Right.
Big pack.
Okay. All right, Crassus, we're looking at what, 8 of them?
Yeah, that's a lot to take on right now.
Okay.
What did you say? 8? from crouched in the grass, holding just the thermal staff. Like,
So we're told there's 8, and that we know that they're the snarlbacks. Like that's all been.
Cap knows they are. It's whether Cap wants to blurt out what they think it is.
where are most of them? Where are the majority of them?
Are most in the grass, or are they?
They're kind of. So if you think if you're stood at a fixed point and the grass is fanned out in front of you,
They're in. Okay.
so they're like
that
from
scene
your
from the
from your
Lost World with the
size.
raptors.
Exactly. Yeah.
I have an idea.
Okay.
Can I
Go
try
for it.
try something?
Go for it.
Can I look up at where they're looking? And can I try and run through and ignite the grass on fire in front of us?
Ooh, interesting.
Is it all dry grass?
It's pretty dry. Yes.
And
Like
it's a
where
large
you-
field of grass.
It's quite large, yeah. And like where you originally see kind of fired your repulsor glove, like you've singed the top of it and it is kind of smoldering. As you kind of you look along this like blackened line across the top of it that leads to the structure. Yeah, it is dry. It's possible you could ignite it.
Yeah, I think Jewel's gonna try and do that. Just running across, ah! Just lighting the grass with the thermal staff.
Okay, make me a quickness operate for this.
Okay,
I'm going to say it's a difficulty 2.
quickness operate. Okay.
Mhm.
Can I use some of the momentum to get back some spirit?
You can.
Are we still at 6? Because did you just use your extra momentum to create the truth?
Yeah, we're still
Yeah.
at 6 right
Okay.
now.
So can I
And
use like a couple momentum then?
So
It's
if you're gonna
momentum
do that,
after the test.
It's
Oh, it's after.
yeah. So it'd be after
Okay.
the test. Yeah.
So I'll
It's
spend,
threat before.
and it's okay if I go down to 0 spirit, right? Or no?
If you go to 0 spirit, you will be exhausted.
Okay, just kidding. So I spend 1 spirit
Hmm.
to add 1 die. Oh God. Are there any other ways to add dice besides
No.
spirit? No. Okay.
You could ask for help.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, oh yeah, yeah. No. Let me double check. Let me just check one thing.
As far as I know, other than truths, assist.
Yeah, no. Yeah, only assist. You know, yeah, because you could spend threat to gain momentum, which you can then spend to get spirit back.
Okay.
Well, I have guidance. When an ally attempts a skill test, you may spend 1 spirit to aid that character, rolling 1d20 against your insight talk as per assistance rules, even if you couldn't
Oh.
normally assist them.
Okay,
Yeah.
do that.
Do you want? Because I'm like, I have an idea. Do you think it's a good idea?
You haven't told me what it is, but listen, I believe in you. You got this.
There we go. Okay, here we go. And I'm doing quickness operate.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm rolling against my insight talk, which is the good one for me. Here goes.
What did you say the difficulty was?
2.
I got 0 successes.
So with my guidance, I rolled 1d20
Yeah.
against my insight talk, which is a insight's 8, talk is a 5. I rolled a 5, so is that 3 successes
2.
or 2
Yeah,
successes?
because you're rolling 1 die,
One die,
Yes.
yeah.
and you got underneath your what would be your crit, so you got 2
Oh my God.
successes.
Okay.
Yes. So I couldn't have done it without your words. Encouragement. It's like, Bixby's got my back. Bixby, please. Me too. So I'm running with a flaming staff.
As soon as she runs on an island, oh, I hope she doesn't fuck this up.
Okay, so what I'll say you do is you turn on your thermal staff and you generate this immense amount of heat at the end, and you just kind of dart along the side and holding it against the base of this tall grass and run it along. And you go, how far do you want to run doing this?
I don't know. I guess I kind of just do almost like a little fan that kind of covers a little, like almost half circle in front of us. You know,
Okay.
just kind of like,
Okay.
don't come over here, sort of like repellent type thing. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll say
that
like
makes sense.
yeah, you kind of position yourself in the middle of the group, and you step to the left, and you can start fanning it across and back, and you get like with the length of your thermal spear when it's extended, you probably get like I'll say like a good 10-15 feet.
Yeah,
spray.
I'll do some movement though, so like
Yeah.
to make it a little larger for sure. Yeah. Okay.
And you ignite the base of this grass, and flames begin to rise in front of you. So you have so the view now, if we're to look from a top-down position, is we have forest, we have you guys stood there with a fan of flames in front of you. We then have the rest of this tall grass, which is now slowly catching fire, so the flames are pushing through. We have maybe 100 feet ahead in the grass a potential small structure that Zeke has uncovered with his line, and then you have 2 snarlbacks coming from the left, 2 from the right, and then there were 4 coming from within the tall grass that you now hear a slightly different sounding growl coming from them as they kind of back up a bit and try to change their route towards you.
So it sounds like they're being not retreating, but just deterred, and they're
kind of reassessing their approach, shall we say.
All right. Zeke is losing the coward state a bit, and because we still don't know what it is. Knowing who we are with, Zeke motions towards Cassius and Cap. What creature type? What are we dealing with?
I don't think you can actually.
Oh wait.
Wait, you got muted right in the middle there.
Oh, lost you.
I feel like all the flames and this creatures made it hard to hear Cap.
Yeah. Well, also, yeah, I went more or less invisible.
Oh,
Yeah.
Then it was less motioning towards Cap and just being like, Spear, Dreamer, do you know what we are dealing with?
I mean, it's definitely some sort of creature. I don't know what kind though. I can't get a good look at it, but it's moving quick. It's on 4 legs. It's a big group of them. It's probably dangerous.
Is that enough for Zeke to recall everything he's ever read to try and determine what creature we're dealing with?
Yeah, or for Jewel to chime in since I did the assist on it. Or...
It could be, from that information, like it could be a snarlback, it could be a wolf hunter as well.
With that kind of information, would I know whether or not loud noise, flames, or similar things deter these type of creatures?
I would say you definitely know flames would, because flames deter most creatures in a biological sense, and lots of them definitely. Loud noises potentially, anything that could startle something. It's a fight or flight response. Depends what mood you get them in, whether or not they fight or flight.
Okay, and then lastly, my repulsor glove has the ability to make a shield to protect, because it says I can either attack or kind of defend with it. How does that defense work, let's say in theory, against like an explosion of sorts?
That's
something
a loaded question.
I'm piecing the information together. So if there was an explosion, how would my shield defend? Like, is there a roll? Is it 1-to-1? What are we looking at here?
It would be so your shield should have an armor rating.
So it actually doesn't. It just says it's damage force. It does just I can use it as a shield, but it didn't give like what that rating is.
Okay, well I'm going to determine an armor rating.
That's
Dependent,
why...
and I will say that it'll be dependent on the size of the explosion, how much damage it will deflect. But I will say, it depends on the pressure and the force of the explosion. There will be that sort of force push.
Okay.
Again, depending how firm you stand your ground. But on top of that, it may kind of crest over in terms of damage.
So I'm going to tell you what Zeke wants to do, because Zeke is piecing together what's been given enough, and Zeke is demonstrative. So I want to go through my supply points, make a blasting bomb, because I want to then throw it in the air, use my repulsor glove to make a shield to protect us from the showering, to cause flames, incendiary, and shrapnel and loud noise to rain around us. Basically make us sound and seem more threatening from anything coming close to us.
Okay. I like the sound of it. I'm not going to say no to it. I'm going to say it's going to take you a couple moments to do that.
Yeah, because I still have to make it.
Yes, it's going to be. I'm going to get you to make a roll just to see in terms of effectiveness of it, which will be insight operate. I'm going to say a 3 for this.
A 3.
Purely because of that. Before you do your roll, though, Jewel, I know you mentioned you wanted to spend momentum to gain some spirit back. I don't want to go on without that.
May I? Can I spend?
Yeah,
like,
I'll say
two
yeah.
to
I'll
get
say
two
you can do
back.
it. So you'll have to get 2 spirit back. You'll have to spend 3.
Oh my god!
Because it's 1 for the first spirit, 2 for the second spirit, and 3 for the third spirit.
Well, guys, we keep killing it, right? Is it okay if I grab 3?
I'm okay with that.
Okay,
So you're
let's
do
spending
it.
3 momentum for that altogether to get 2 spirit.
To get 2 back, yeah.
Okay.
All right, we're at 3 momentum now.
Cool.
Now we just need to keep succeeding. Over succeeding.
Yeah.
I sort of like speaking to Crassus. I'm like, hey, as far as I can count, there's like 8 of these things. Is that something that we should fight, or do you think we should move to that structure over there? And
Yeah, I don't know if this is a good idea to fight these. I mean, we don't know exactly what we're dealing with. Maybe if we go to the structure, it'll be more defensible.
Yes. Cover. Let's get some cover.
As Zeke is digging into his bag and you're saying that, if we make a way to the cover, you give me time to make something. Gracias. You can throw it in the air. We stay close. We can make big boom dissuade them from chasing, even if for a moment, if not scare a few of them away.
okay. Well, I also got a lot of jerky.
Oh yes, leave that behind as well, so that they'll be drawn to the smell, perhaps, instead of us running away.
Okay, yeah, I figure me carrying this big clear bag of jerky won't be that helpful for keeping them away from us anyway. So I kind of like walk off a little bit away from the group and do like a whistle, like for a dog. Here you go. Here's some jerky, little guy. And I guess I don't even know how I would try to convince them or make noise to like attract them to that, and then kind of gesture like go to the group.
Okay. Okay. So for this, Zeke, it'll be a difficulty 3 whilst you build this bomb. Bixby, I'm going to say do me a resolve talk to see if you can persuade these creatures that you've got the better deal.
Yeah. Okay.
I am spending it. I'm going to use my tool rig, the toolkit, to help make the bomb, and I'm going to spend 1 spirit to add a dice. So I'm rolling 3 for this. And tool rig says I can also re-roll 1 dice when I spend a spirit, so I can add a dice and re-roll.
Cool.
I think I'm gonna spend a spirit too. That's cool.
I might need to spend 2 because 3 difficulty makes me nervous.
Okay.
I'm spending 2 spirit. I must roll 4 dice just to be safe.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got 2 under my resolve. I got 2 success or 2 rolls under my resolve, and 1 was above, but none under my skill. So
I've got 2. I'll re-roll those 2, and that's every all worked out. So that's going to be 4 successes.
Nice.
I had a 20, so I was like, yeah, we re-rolling that. So 4 successes altogether.
Okay. So a few things happen in this moment. Firstly, Zeke, you managed to create this bomb. It is prepped. It is potent. So it's definitely going to do what you want it to do. That's where we're going to leave that until it happens. Bigsby, you kind of move off to the side, waving this bag of jerky. And at this point, with the flames kind of rising around you all, you can see 2 of these snarlbacks running across, both initially heading directly to where the bulk of your group is. And as you kind of wave the jerky, slightly opening the bag to get some of that scent out, you see one of them kind of go in your direction and begins to beeline towards you. As it does, you hear the kind of a snarled growl from the other one that was running, and it pulls itself back and redirects itself back to the group.
Wait, back to the group?
Back towards you guys. So at first it was distracted by Bigsby and the jerky, but the other one kind of shouted it back. To focus. These are intelligent creatures.
Okay.
Yes. But Jewel, while you kind of stand there watching this happen, you hear a yelp come from your right. As you see a snarlback fall to the ground with an arrow sticking out of it.
Okay. Can I see where the arrow may have come from?
You do not.
Like the direction of.
It was from the side of you.
Okay. Can I go and like scan the direction just based off like how it hit the, sort of scan that.
Yeah,
that general direction.
You look that general direction, and as it stands, you do not see anyone. But you also don't see Cap at this point.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're not alone. We're not alone. Careful. And also, I liked the idea of running to whatever build. Where is the building that's nearby? And are there?
It's about 100 feet ahead of you. It is small, kind of squatters, and you only just managed to see it above the tall grass when Zeke made the
repulsor line.
The repulsor glove into it. Yeah.
Are the creatures, or are the flames and the creatures between us and that?
The flames have kind of the flames were in your way, but the way that they are spreading and burning, they're kind of burning more outwards. So there is like almost a parting of the Red Sea path.
Straight shot from that
to this
from
building,
that,
and the snarlbacks that were coming that way have kind of moved round to go more around the side where the others were heading in.
Okay, I'm gonna beeline for the building. I was like, that's a great idea, and as soon as that was said to me, I kind of just bolt.
Okay, make me a quickness move.
All right. 2 successes.
2 successes. Okay.
Wait, if I get the move one, then it's 3 successes.
3 successes. Okay, and you only needed 1. So you've generated 2 points of momentum.
We're full.
We're full again? Okay, great.
So, as you say that, Jewel, everyone who stood watching and sees Jewel, you just see her jump into an Olympic sprint straight through this gap in the burning grass towards this unknown structure in the middle. What's everyone else doing? Cap, what are you doing in this moment?
I will start following Jewel, grab my arrow from the one that's downed on the way by, like unless I need to like sit and yank it out, and like if it's lodged.
I would say it's between 2 ribs, but there's enough gap between the ribs, enough meat between that you can kind of yank it out pretty quickly.
Cool. And just like tuck everything back under my cloak, and then like start. If I'm running after Jewel, am I going to be like passing the rest of the group?
To a degree. Like Bigsby's off to the side. Zeke is kind of more distracted. The only one that would potentially see you would be Crassus.
It's more that I kind of want to like tag them on the way by and just kind of be like, let's move.
Yeah, you can easily do that. You can kind of shout Crassus. Zeke's like right next to them on the floor there. It's only Bigsby that wouldn't spot you, but Bigsby's in the eye line of Zeke and Crassus.
Okay, so I'll just run by and be like, time to go.
What's everyone else doing? We have 2 sprinting towards this structure.
Are there currently like 2 groups of these wolf creatures? So the larger group, I would like to take my bomb. I'm not great at throwing, so I'm not going to go for a throw because I feel like too much athleticism. Mm-hmm. What I'd like to do is consider the current terrain, and I want to find out if there's a way to roll it. Basically, I want to try to use my smarts more than my athleticism to get it to be within range of them and set a timer on the bomb. Basically, I'm trying to do beautiful
Oh
mind
my
bombing
god.
to avoid athleticism as possible.
So to roll it, you're going to be rolling it through tall grass. Just putting that out there. Or you can try and roll it along the edge of the tall grass, which is where Bigsby is stood. So you can either roll it towards Bigsby or try and throw it into the tall grass. Yeah.
Hot potato it.
That's a decision.
Trying to Rube Goldberg this thing is amazing.
Okay, so it's through the tall grass. Do I feel like what I could do is if I could use my repulsor to try and make a line through the tall grass towards them and roll it that way to avoid the tall grass? Your boy's not strong, so I'm trying to use anything that does not lean into my might. Basically, I'm trying to...
I would say yes, but there is a risk that when you make that hole and you roll this bomb, there is going to be flames, smoldering ground in that area. So there will be a slight risk that it will detonate early.
Oh, I'll run that risk. I'm demonstrative. It doesn't hurt my friends, unless
Okay.
would early hurt one of them. No, you know what? No, I'm demonstrative.
Okay.
Let's do it.
So I'll say you fire your repulsor glove and you create the opening. I'm going to say make me a might operate.
Ah,
Because we're almost,
damn.
this is almost like curling or bowls even.
Yeah, it does.
this.
All right, that's fair. I tried my best to avoid might. I have a 6 in might, so this is going to be a journey.
You got this.
But
Spend
you've
some
got operate.
spirit.
If you get under your operate,
Yeah, that's what I mean. So,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I
So
just
it's
have
like
to get
there's a
below
middle-
operate.
it's a middle
What's the
ground.
difficulty on this?
Ooh, you know what? I'm gonna roll the d4, and I'm just gonna let Chance play this one. I can get my d4 out for this. 2d20 game, but we use all dice when possible. 2 difficulty 2.
Difficulty 2. And I do want to say the last test was a difficulty 3, and my demonstrative says if I do a skill test 3, I recover spirit.
Okay.
So I'm back. I gained 1, so I am going to spend 2 spirit to bring me down to 2,
Mm-hmm.
so I can roll 4 dice,
Hmm.
and I just have to get 2 successes, which means I need a 6 or less twice to do this. I don't like this at all. Okay, so I got a 2, but I also got a 20.
Okay.
And I can't re-roll it because it's not using my tool rig.
Okay. Cool. It's just a success and a complication. That's fine.
Yep, a success and a complication.
Mm-hmm.
But the bomb gets over to them, yes?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I should have put, what is it, 4?
Bada boom.
I lose, what is it, 2 supply points to make the bomb based on the handmade.
Mm-hmm.
And it does shrapnel 4.
Wonderful.
Whoa.
Okay. That's good
And
to
it
know.
does burst, so it costs less momentum to hit more than one creature.
Okay. Good to know.
Wow.
You roll the bomb, and then what do you do? What you and Crassus are now stood next to each other. Bigsby, are you making your way back to the rest of the group now that your decoy didn't work, or are you staying where you are?
I'm sort of like as soon as I see that they don't like the jerky, I kind of like just like, oh, well, I thought it was pretty good stuff, and I like closing the bag back up, and I'm starting to sprint towards the structure.
Okay, cool. So you're on your way back. Crassus, what are you doing?
I'm running with the rest of the group towards the structure.
Okay, cool. So Zeke, you repulse the glove this gap. You roll this bomb in the hopes that you lined up the trajectory perfectly, and you gave enough force for the velocity of it to roll for the exact amount of time, and then I presume you book it with the rest of them and start running to this structure.
Yeah, no, I'm going with them. I'm very slow though, but I'm going.
Cool. So what I'll say is we'll fast forward a little bit. You all run and make it to this structure. When you arrive there, it is a small 10-foot by 10-foot square building. It is metal walled. There appears to be a window on it with a small kind of rectangular opening along the bottom edge on one side. And you kind of, you get in there first, pop around the side to see if there's an entryway, and you find a door. Trying the handle,
Perfect.
it is open. It is not locked.
Great.
So you open the door. I'm presuming you just dart straight in.
Yes, absolutely. Dart straight in. Although my thermal staff is out, so it probably gives light as well.
Cool, perfect. Yes, you dart in with the light, and everyone kind of barges in behind you. Zeke, as the last one in, do you close the door behind you?
Close the door! Damn it!
Yes, I do.
Okay, interesting. Okay, so you close the door.
Oh no!
And a moment passes, and Zeke, you're like, it should have gone off by now.
Oh no.
And then as the realization that it hasn't gone off kind of starts to draw on your face, you all hear an almighty explosion outside. And you hear the sound of branches breaking. You hear the whimpering of one of these snarlbacks, and the whimpering fades. And you also hear what appears to be impact sounds on the side of the building. And some of them, excuse me, sound like rocks hitting. And then there's like a slap of flesh sounding, hitting the side of the building. And then everything kind of falls silent for a moment.
What the hell did you do?
I distracted.
It's one way for that. God, you blow them all up?
I just made a small bomb using some high-powered condensed.
Small?
But I was making it very quickly, and I only had compressed air. I just put through the force and a bunch of random debris I had in there, metal components, dirt components, whatever I had, then just jammed it in there. And I may have not used a bit of large fuel.
That sounded very. That didn't sound so small to me.
I've made bigger. This is a small explosion.
All right. And
That's
I
a
sort of
terrifying bit of information.
I kind of look to Cap to see how they feel about all this, kind of knowing that their nature inclination. But
Yeah, Cap has reappeared, just like amongst you. So, remember how like earlier I was saying about how messing with like the sleeping tech could be bad and they could like try and kill us?
Yeah.
Sometimes that same amount of caution is really necessary to exist amongst nature as well, because as you can see, it wasn't like the grass that was like mad that you burned it and stuff, but like it did kind of let other things know we were there. So not only did we, damage things that were like probably really important to the world and like the nature and things that are living. So like we just burned stuff and killed things that we didn't really need to kill. But they other things also tried to kill us, which was not fun. So
Nature sucks. Yes.
Ooh, well, that's, yes, great points, Cap. We should maybe exercise caution as we are transporting some very important tech, Zeke, and you know this. You are the one carrying it, after all. You really should give yourself more self-preservation caution which
And-
also has to do with drawing attention to yourself.
Let me put it this way: you're not going to get answers if you're dead.
Unlike nature, where you can't let me scavenge machines. Fine.
Maybe just different pockets for the explosives and the thing that we're supposed to be transporting. That's all. I feel like that's a safe baseline, right?
That they are different pouches. This is my compressed air. These are my components. These are my electronic. Nope. Swaps them.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna need to get some like a labeling system. Would that make everyone feel better?
Yeah.
For me, it's less about like inventory management and a bit more about impulse control, which again, funny coming from me, but there are just certain times when that's like super, super important. And I don't want to die.
Nope.
So if everyone else could act like they don't want to die.
Look, I think, I think Zeke just had a gut response, and I can understand that.
He was told things were slithering, and then the grass moved.
I know that was on me. I did not know that it would affect you in such a way, and that is my fault. Zeke, thank you for probably obliterating a whole bunch of creatures outside. Maybe we can salvage some food?
No. Anything that was hit by that is probably non-consumable at this point.
See.
Oh,
Good
good.
God. All right.
good.
Well,
I kind of look over at Crassus and I'm like, we should all take a note from this fine young man's book, because he is calm as I don't even know right now, but you okay? You okay? You're not disassociating nothing?
No. I mean, we did what we needed to do. Blowing up probably wasn't the best idea, but it happened, and so now we just got to figure out where even are we?
Oh, yeah.
Like, what is this place?
good question. And look around.
Zeke too, like, okay, no explosions while looking around.
Yeah.
So, looking around this small room that you are in, you see that there is not much in here. It seems quite sparse. There is a small, what appears to be like a cabinet on one side, and there is a electronics board on the wall next to it. That appears to have some power switches and such on there, and there appears to be one large kind of flick switch controller to it. Where the window is, with a small gap like opening along the bottom, there is like what appears to be a shelf just under it. On top of that is a couple small boxes, and underneath it appears to be one large kind of storage box, and a chair that has been tucked under the shelf, almost a counter but not quite as deep. And that's kind of what you see in this small room.
I'd
There's
love
an
to raid.
electrical box.
Yeah, I want to raid the cabinet.
Okay.
There's an electric box. I want it.
It's like a full electrical control panel on the wall. Looking at the cabinet, it appears to be sealed.
Oh, I take out my bolt cutters.
There is no bolt on it. It just appears like very unopenable.
Well, then
You
I
do
can
have a
take
crowbar,
my
though.
thermal staff.
Don't you have a crowbar?
No,
like
I don't think I have
Did you
a
not pick up
crowbar.
a crowbar?
I
All
mean,
people-
could
of
I?
all
Is that something
people.
a supply point?
You can, yeah,
a
spend
supply
a
point
supply
can...
point and pull a crowbar out of your pocket.
Okay, yeah, I spend a supply point and pull out a crowbar.
Okay. You pull out the crowbar and pop it, and you manage to kind of pop open the cabinet. Looking inside, you see there are a small stack of like data slates in there, and there appears to be some actual paper books as well next to it.
Wow.
And then underneath there is a drawer inside, and you pull it out, and inside there appears to be some small like packaged items, like small, like rectangular, about that thick,
Okay.
about that. Maybe about 6 of them, but they're a little bit dusty, being in this drawer.
Could I replenish my supply points from this cabinet?
I'll say yes. Yeah,
Okay.
you can do that.
And then I guess look into what these items are.
Okay.
And I'll even call Zeke over, or anyone that is. Does anyone know what these are? I'm like dusting them off, like.
So you do
Zeke,
that. Whilst you're kind of opening and looking through that, Zeke, what are you doing? You seemed a bit.
Well, there was an electric board and a switch, and I want to trace the electricity that might be in there to see if the switch connects to it and what this connects to, if I can discern immediately based on the sound of electricity moving through things.
Okay, so looking at the board, I already know your tech level, so I know what your ability is with this. Looking at the board, the switch appears to be a power switch for the board. There is no power within it. It appears to be lacking power. There is a break in a connection somewhere. But following, kind of tracing where it goes, you see it goes up along into the corner of the wall and up. As you kind of look and follow up, you see that there are 4 small little square, like little triangles, but it's like a small pyramid, but the point is in the corner of the room and the square is facing into the room. In all 4 corners of the room, and they are connected to this power board.
Can I discern what those things are? Does it seem like a light thing, a sound device, a
Appears
alternative?
A bit of both.
Can I discern with my tech level if I power this, would it be dangerous?
No, it would not.
And you said it was a break. Does it seem like it just needs power, or that there's something wrong with the board?
It looks like a bit of both. It looks like there is appears to be a small battery pack that is connected, but there is a small there's a short in the connection, and it appears that there's some wiring within the board that has been chewed away.
Okay. What is the tech level of this board? I have a toolkit 2 and 3, so I can use it to repair something 1 level above that, so I can repair a 3. But if it's higher than that, I got to use my
I would say
higher
this
tech.
is, looking at the damage, it'd be a 2.
2, so I can use my non-powered toolkit to repair it.
Okay.
I'd like to do base repair before I try to power it, just to see if I can fix the wiring and the short, but not turning it on. I just want to fix it, but leave it. I don't want to turn it on yet.
I'll say you managed to whilst Jewel is looking through this cabinet and has pried it open, you're able to fix the issues with the board prior to powering it on easily.
And then if I can do that, believing that it's not dangerous and it seems like it'd be a light thing, I'm gonna hit the switch.
Okay. So Jewel, moving back to you very quickly, you look through this cabinet, you find these data slates, these books as they were, and these small package things in the drawer, and you turn and shout Zeke to come take a look.
Or anyone in the room, but yeah.
As you kind of turn and shout for someone to look, Zeke, you pull this switch. You all hear this electrical board begin to charge. You hear like the kind of static electricity kind of vibrate through it, and you all notice these 4 little pyramids in the corner start to flicker. And as they start to flicker, we'll call it there for today.
Hey!
Whoops.
And we'll deal with that next week.
Hey, great cliffhanger.
So, for everyone watching at home, thank you very much for joining us again for this, our second episode of this little adventure we have into the world of Dreams Machines and Avira Prime. We'll be back next week, same time, same place. But before we go, I just want to run around the table, let you know who everyone is before we say bye, so you can follow everyone, find out what they're up to, and see us outside of the game. So we'll go in clockwise order because we went anti-clockwise last week, and we're starting with Jewel.
Hi, I'm Josephine McAdam. You can find me at JCVIM on all social media platforms and keep up to what I'm doing, which is usually acting or gaming or both at the same time. So you could just keep track on those. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Cap, you're up.
Hello, I am Rachel Beauregard. I am a Toronto-based actor, a general pain in the ass. You can find me sporadically on the Initiative Order. Sometimes I'm on the Red Hair Inn. You can also see my art for the upcoming Mythical Melee whenever that's happening. Time is a weird soup. You can find all those details by following me on Instagram at Manic Pixie Tank Girl. You can also see my art just in the wild at my other Instagram at Bad Duck Design.
Thank you very much. Next up is Bixby.
Hi, my name is Philip Correa. You can find me on all of my socials at mphilipcorrea. And on the weekly on the GGG podcast, which is Golden Glazed Gaming. We just talk about everything to do with video games. And then you'll probably see me acting in a thing or two every now and again. If I pop up on your TV, be alarmed because I can see you. That's the thing about my acting. All right, thanks.
Wonderful.
Incredible.
Crassus, you're up next.
Hi, I'm Logan. You can find me at Logan Quinn Film on Instagram or Tank Loves You on Twitch.
Amazing. Thank you very much. Zeke, who are you?
Oh, hey, it's Jaden King. You can find me on all social media at It's Jaden King. That includes all the websites, my personal website, MySpace, Smoke Signals, or by smashing two rocks together and chanting It's Jaden King. I might be there. I'm all over the place doing all kinds of things. Check out TTRPG University if you'd like to learn more about how to improve your role-playing experience as a GM player and more, among other things happening for the rest of this year. Also, D&D in a Castle. Check it out if you want to play at my table in April. Just dropping that because it's going to be a vacation destination experience.
Amazing. Thank you very much. And I'm Danny. I'm the project manager for Dreams Machines and Dune and some other games that you'll find out about in the future. You can find me at Check for Traps on all socials, and you'll see me doing stuff on the Initiative Order as well as here. Again, thank you very much for watching. Make sure you tune in next week for our next episode. And don't forget to check out our other actual plays that we have on the Modiphius channel. We have Fallout, where April, our community manager, is running through the Children of Atom. Was it Children of Atom? The Winter of Atom campaign book, even. With some amazing players over there. And then that's on Mondays. And then Tuesdays, we have our Star Trek Adventures stream with Samantha, who is our head of brand, who's running an amazing group through the Shackleton Expanse, our own corner of the Star Trek universe. So yeah, go check those shows out as well. And we have plenty more planned and coming up soon as well. So yes, so until next week, thank you for watching. And yeah, we'll see you later. Bye.